Punches thrown as Carrollton police take down a man who says that he complied with what officers asked him to do. The confrontation was captured on cell phone video. Now citizens in the West Georgia city are weighing in.
Fox 5's Morse Diggs joins us live with a closer look at that video. And Morse, you've spoken with both the police chief and with the man at the center of that video.
Well, some lengthy conversations with both men, but first I want to set up the context here. The images and the scenario, they'll be familiar to a number of you. You have an issue here that starts off very small, but then quickly escalates, and it gets physical.
I'm really not a person like that. I don't belong in the back of no cop car at all.
In a cell video, officers from Carrollton confront, strike and arrest Amore Ellison. What's behind the takedown at mid-afternoon Tuesday in a retail parking lot? Ellison tells me he had gone to a fast food restaurant to get his final paycheck. He had been terminated for isolated courtesy violations, he says. But authorities say a restaurant employee was uncomfortable that Ellison showed up and called 911. Ellison couldn't get his check immediately because a manager had to bring it to the store.
So then we go back outside, and next thing you know, 1, 2, 3 cop cars pull up.
Officers attempt to interview him. He takes exception and at times gets loud. But he says he did provide his license. It escalates when one of the officers asks more questions.
Hey, shut up. Let me tell you something real quick. I'm going to ask you again, and if you don't answer, I'm going to lock you up. All right.
The longtime chief has opened an internal investigation. What was your initial reaction when you saw that video?
I knew this had to be looked into.
Ellis's mother got a phone call she dreaded.
I'm just thankful it wasn't worse. Change will be great at any time with this, but will there ever be one?
A family lawyer explained any officer can ask a citizen for information, but there are limits.
He cannot compel an individual who's not suspected of a crime, has not been detained, to give out his ID or identifying information. And the law is very clear that you cannot compel. You cannot say, hey, if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna arrest you.
Can you think of anything you could have done or said differently that would have prevented this thing from escalating?
Yes, sir. I could have just said yes, sir, no, sir, and did everything they told me to do.
Now, the lawyer tells me he will file a federal lawsuit on behalf of Mr. Ellison, but first he has a request of the chief. He'd like that police officer who initiated the physical action, he'd like him to be fired. The chief tells me he's not going to let this internal investigation drag on. He will have a response quickly. From Carrollton, I'm Morse Diggs, Fox 5 News.
All right, Morse, we know you'll keep us posted.